Ladies and gentlemen, in life, you must learn what to open and what to protect, what to share and what to guard. Jim Rohn always reminded us that wisdom is not only in what you say, but in what you choose not to say. Your life is a garden, and not everyone deserves access to every corner of it. Some things must remain yours alone, because when you share everything with everyone, you weaken your power, your clarity, and your direction. There is strength in privacy, strength in silence, strength in guarding the most precious parts of your life from those who may misuse them, misunderstand them, or drain them. Your private struggles are some of the most sacred parts of your life, and not everyone should be allowed to see them. In moments of difficulty, the mind becomes sensitive, the heart becomes vulnerable, and your confidence becomes fragile. Sharing your struggles with the wrong people can magnify the pain instead of easing it. Some will judge you because they cannot understand your situation. Some will use your vulnerability as a weapon in the future. Some will pretend to listen, but secretly enjoy seeing you weakened. And some will give you advice rooted in fear, not wisdom. This is why protecting your struggles is not secrecy, it is self-respect. You must learn to fight your internal battles with intention instead of broadcasting them to people who do not carry the maturity to understand or guide you when you face a problem. The first instinct may be to seek comfort, validation, or sympathy. But comfort from the wrong source weakens you. It makes you dependent. It blinds you to your own ability to grow through the difficulty. Jim Rohn often said that you should only share your problems with someone who can help solve them, not with anyone who will simply listen and add more confusion. Struggles are opportunities for growth, and growth often requires silence. Silence allows you to think clearly, to understand the lesson, and to strengthen your character. Silence, you learn resilience. You become emotionally tougher, mentally sharper, spiritually deeper. You begin to trust yourself. Instead of leaning on others for emotional survival, private struggles also build discipline. When you choose to handle challenges internally, you train your mind to stay calm in chaos. You begin to develop the habit of thinking before reacting and planning before panicking. The struggle itself becomes your teacher. You start asking deeper questions. What is this teaching me? Where did I go wrong? What can I improve? How can I rise from this? These questions activate your growth. But when you rush to share your problems with everyone, you lose the chance to reflect, to understand, and to build wisdom. Others' opinions drown out your own voice, and instead of healing, you become more confused. Silence, however, gives you clarity. It creates space for solutions to appear. What you go through privately becomes the foundation of your strength. No one sees the pain, but everyone will see the transformation if you handle it wisely. People admire the rise, but often misunderstand the struggle behind it. And that is how it should be. Your journey is personal, your lessons are personal, and your growth is personal. When you protect your struggles, you protect your dignity. You give yourself the emotional space to evolve without interference. The world does not need to know every detail of your suffering. What the world will eventually see is the strength that's suffering. Created within you, there will always be individuals who pretend to care but secretly look for cracks in your armor. These are the people who smile in front of you but store your weaknesses in the back of their minds. This is why wisdom demands discernment. Share your struggles only with those who have earned your trust, those who have proven their loyalty, those who possess the maturity to guide you, not gossip about you. Choose carefully. Guard your heart. Protect your inner world, because the battles you fight alone often become the victories that define your life. When it comes to protecting your peace, your progress, and your personal power, one of the most important things you can learn is the discipline of selective silence. Not every thought, plan, or struggle deserves an audience, because the more you expose your inner world to unnecessary opinions, the more vulnerable you become to doubt, discouragement, and distraction. People often speak too soon, sharing dreams that are still fragile, ideas that are still forming, and decisions that are not yet strong enough to stand on their own. And when those delicate things are exposed to the wrong ears, the criticism or misunderstanding they receive can crush them before they ever have a chance to grow. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It gives you the space to think, to refine, and to strengthen your intentions without interference. When you share everything, you give people the ability to influence how you think, how you feel, and how you move, sometimes without you even realizing it. Your private thoughts are the blueprint of your future, And blueprints are not meant to be handed to everyone who asks. They are meant to be protected until the structure is strong enough to stand every time you speak about what you're planning to do. You release a bit of the energy you need to actually do it. There's a psychological phenomenon known as social reality, where the simple act of talking about your goals can trick your mind into feeling as if you've already achieved something, reducing your drive to follow through. This is why many people speak boldly but act weakly. They spend so much time talking about the future that they forget to build it. If you truly want to grow, keep the early stages of your plan sacred. The world should see results, not drafts. Let your actions scream louder than any announcement ever could. Silence creates an element of surprise, and surprise is a powerful advantage. While others are guessing what you're up to, you're working, building, improving. You are moving quietly but intentionally toward your vision, and there is another layer to this. Not everyone wants to see you rise. Some people will question your dreams because they don't have the courage to chase their own. Some will plant seeds of fear in your mind because your ambition reminds them of their own stagnation. Some will pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. This is why protecting your personal thoughts and goals is an act of self-respect. You are not hiding, you are guarding, you are choosing wisdom over validation, growth over attention, and peace over opinions. The moment you understand that silence is a shield, you begin to move through life differently. You stop seeking approval and start building confidence from the inside. You stop explaining yourself and start proving yourself. You stop giving people pieces of your plan and start giving them pieces of your progress. In the end, the strongest people are not those who shout their intention from the rooftops, but those who quietly rise, who build without announcing, who prepare without discussing, and who succeed without needing permission. Your silence is not emptiness. It is power under control. It is your decision to let your future unfold through discipline and focus rather than noise and distraction. So protect your thoughts, protect your dreams, and protect your direction. Let the world wonder while you work. Let your results speak on your behalf. Your personal life is one of the most valuable assets you possess. And the truth is, not everyone has earned the right to access it. People often feel tempted to share every detail about what they're going through, whether it's emotional struggles, family issues, relationship problems, or personal conflicts. But doing so can create vulnerabilities that others may misuse. Some individuals will listen not to support you, but to gather information, to judge you quietly, or to use your weaknesses against you at the most unexpected time. Your emotional world deserves privacy because it is where your strength is built, where your resilience is shaped, and where your character is refined. When you share your struggles too freely, you expose the tender places that are still healing, and instead of comfort, you may receive criticism or misunderstanding that deepens the wound rather than repairing it. There is tremendous power in choosing what to reveal and what to protect, because not every listening ear is a caring one, and not every person who seems interested in your feelings is genuinely invested in your well-being. Your emotional challenges should be shared only with people who have demonstrated empathy, maturity, and trustworthiness. These people are rare. Most are curious, not caring. They want details, not depth. And many are more interested in gossip than in guidance. When you open up to the wrong individuals, you hand them the ability to influence your emotional state. They may minimize your feelings, mock your pain, or spread your personal business further than you intended. They may even weaponize your emotions in moments of conflict. Not everyone deserves to know what keeps you awake at night, what breaks your heart, or what you secretly fear. Your struggles are not entertainment. They are part of your journey, and only those who have proven their loyalty should be allowed to walk that path with you. Protecting your emotions is not about isolation, it is about emotional intelligence. It's choosing maturity over impulsiveness and depth over exposure. There's also a deeper layer to emotion. Privacy. When you constantly share your struggles, you may unintentionally weaken your own inner strength. There is a kind of healing that only happens in silence, in reflection, in personal growth without external voices interfering. Sometimes the more you talk about a problem, the more real and heavy it becomes. Your mind keeps replaying the story, reinforcing the pain instead of releasing it. But when you sit with yourself, process quietly, and work through your emotions internally, you develop clarity and resilience. Not every challenge requires an audience. Many require solitude. Silence can be incredibly healing because it allows your heart to breathe and your mind to settle with the pressure of others' expectations or opinions. And understand this, people respect what you protect. When others realize that you do not hand out your personal life casually, they treat you with more seriousness. They know you are someone with boundaries, someone who values inner stability, someone who understands that emotional integrity is a strength. Being selective creates an aura of quiet confidence, and that confidence becomes a shield. Your emotional world is a sacred space where your deepest thoughts lie, where your true values exist, where your real battles take place. Guard it with intention. Share it only with those who have earned the privilege. Hold your heart close, not because you fear people, but because you respect yourself. Your weaknesses, insecurities, and fears are some of the most sensitive parts of who you are. Revealing them to the wrong people can create consequences that last far longer than you expect. When you openly share your vulnerabilities, you assume that others will handle them with care. But the reality is that not everyone has the emotional maturity, integrity, or compassion to treat your weaknesses as gently as you hope. Some will use your insecurities as leverage. Some will store them quietly until a moment of conflict. And some will judge you silently while smiling to your face. Human nature is complex, and even well-intentioned people can misinterpret your weaknesses and form opinions that do not reflect your true potential. The more you expose the fragile parts of yourself, the more you risk being defined by them in the eyes of others. And once people place you in a box, it becomes difficult to break free from their limited perception. Your vulnerabilities are not flaws to hide in shame. They are parts of your growth, but they deserve a safe environment, not public display. Many people overshare because they mistake openness for connection, believing that being vulnerable with everyone will make them more relatable or understood. But true strength lies in discernment. Not everyone has earned the privilege of knowing what scares you, what hurts you, or what makes you doubt yourself. Sharing your weaknesses too freely creates a false sense of intimacy, and it often invites opinions that you never asked for. People may give unsolicited advice, judge your emotional reactions, or compare your struggles to their own in ways that minimize your feelings. Worse, some individuals will feel empowered by knowing your vulnerabilities, using them to assert superiority or control. The wrong person can turn a moment of emotional honesty into a long-term disadvantage. Guarding your weaknesses is not about pretending to be perfect. It is about protecting your inner landscape from those who would distort it, misuse it, or misunderstand it. There's also a psychological aspect to consider. The more you talk about your insecurities, the more power you give them. When you repeatedly verbalize your fears, you reinforce them in your mind. They grow louder, heavier, and more real. But when you process them within yourself through reflection, self-discipline, learning, and quiet improvement, you transform them without broadcasting them. You build strength in silence, confidence in solitude, and self-mastery without needing validation from anyone else. Growth becomes internal, not performative. Your weaknesses shrink when you address them privately, but they expand when you expose them unnecessarily. The goal is not to hide your humanity, but to handle your vulnerabilities with wisdom rather than impulse. And there is something else. People respect what you protect. When you hold your weaknesses close and present yourself with calm, grounded confidence, others see you as someone who cannot be easily shaken. They recognize strength in your composure, steadiness in your silence, and dignity in your boundaries. You are not shutting people out. You are elevating the value of what lies within. Those who truly care will earn the right to see your vulnerable side through consistent loyalty, trust, and understanding. Until then, your weaknesses deserve the safety of silence, the shelter of discretion, and the protection of your own strength. Guard what is tender, preserve what is still growing, and share only with those who have proved themselves worthy of your trust. Your future plans are some of the most delicate and powerful assets you possess, and sharing them too early can weaken their momentum before they even have a chance to take form. When you talk about what you intend to do, where you intend to go, and who you intend to become, you expose the seed before it is rooted. And seeds exposed too soon rarely survive. Plans in their early stages are fragile. They need silence, focus, and protected energy to grow. The moment you share them widely, you invite opinions, doubts, envy, and unnecessary commentary from people who may not understand your vision or may not want to see you elevate. Many dreams die not because they were impossible, but because they were spoken to the wrong audience. Your future deserves privacy while it is still in construction. Your intentions deserve protection until they have gained enough strength to stand independently. Silence is not secrecy, it is strategy, discipline, and respect for your own journey. When you tell people what you're planning, you unintentionally release the psychological pressure that drives action. Talking gives you a premature sense of accomplishment, tricking your mind into feeling that the work has already begun simply because you spoke about it. This false satisfaction can reduce motivation, slow your progress, and make you more focused on announcing than achieving. Many people fall into the trap of seeking recognition for dreams they haven't yet executed. They want applause for the idea instead of the result. But real success comes from doing quietly, not discussing loudly. Let people see the finished product, not the blueprint. Let them witness the transformation, not the planning phase. When you hold your plans close, you keep your determination sharp, your energy contained, and your purpose uninterrupted. Silence allows you to work without pressure, without comparison, and without the weight of external expectations. There is also the reality that not everyone is rooting for you. Some people will subtly discourage you because your ambition highlights their reluctance to change. Others will plant seeds of doubt because they fear your growth will outshine them. Some will pretend to support you while secretly hoping your plans fall apart. And there are those who simply cannot understand your vision because it was not given to them. You were shown the dream, not them. You were chosen for that path, not them. Expecting them to see what you see is unrealistic. That's why revealing your future too early invites unnecessary obstacles. Your plans can be twisted, minimized, mocked, or misinterpreted by people whose perspective is too small for your purpose. Silence protects you from absorbing their limitations into your mindset. Silence shields your vision from being reduced to their level of belief. Your future deserves more respect than that. When you move quietly, you create an element of mystery and strength. People begin to respect the results you produce rather than the promises you make. They see progress instead of predictions. You become someone who acts, not someone who talks. That shift changes your entire identity, not only in the eyes of others, but in your own eyes as well. You start trusting your ability to execute. You start building inner confidence instead of relying on external approval. And you start valuing the power of patience, discipline, and intention. Your future plans are sacred. Not everyone deserves access to them. Protect your direction, protect your dreams, and protect the energy that will take you where others never imagined you could go on. Your financial situation is one of the most sensitive and easily misinterpreted areas of your life, and openly sharing it can expose you to judgment, envy, manipulation, or unnecessary expectations. Whether you are struggling, stable, or succeeding, revealing too much about your money invites opinions and reactions that do not serve your growth. People may start evaluating your worth based on numbers rather than character, comparing themselves to you or comparing you to others. Some will begin to treat you differently, either with pity if you're struggling or with entitlement if you're doing well. Money has a strange way of altering relationships, and even the people you trust most can shift their behavior once they know more than they should. Protecting the details of your finances is not secrecy, it is maturity. It is understanding that your financial journey is personal, unique, and deeply tied to your mindset, habits, and discipline, not something to be displayed for. Public discussion, when you openly share that you have money, you may attract people who are more interested in what you can give them than in who you are. Some will disguise their intentions behind friendship or support, but their motives revolve around what they can gain. They may expect favors, loans, or special treatment. They may pressure you into spending on things you don't need, pushing you off your financial path to satisfy their desires. You also become a target for silent competition and envy, people who once supported. You may begin to resent your growth, creating unnecessary tension. On the other hand, if you share that you are struggling, You may be judged for your decisions, your lifestyle, or your capabilities. Those who do not understand your circumstances may misinterpret your temporary situation as a permanent reflection of your ability. These reactions, whether of entitlement or judgment, distract you from the discipline and focus needed to improve your financial life. There is also a psychological benefit to keeping your financial life private. It allows you to work with pressure and to make decisions based on logic rather than social expectations. When no one knows what you earn, what you save, or what you invest, you free yourself from the weight of others' opinions. You can budget without embarrassment, save without explanation, and invest without noise. You avoid the trap of trying to look successful instead of actually building success. Financial growth is often slow, quiet, and unglamorous, requiring patience, sacrifice, and long-term thinking. Talking about your money creates temptation to live for appearances instead of progress. But when you stay private, you stay disciplined. You avoid unnecessary spending triggered by comparison. You protect the energy needed to grow. Your money becomes a tool to strengthen your life, not a topic to entertain others in. There's a deeper truth. Money reveals more about people than they reveal about money. Once others know your financial state, their behavior exposes their character. Some become opportunistic, some become competitive, some become judgmental, and some become distant. But when you guard your financial information, you maintain control of your narrative and your relationships. People interact with you based on who you are, not what you have. Your choices become clearer. Your boundaries become stronger. And your progress becomes more stable. Financial privacy is a form of self-respect. It protects your goals, your peace, and your long-term growth. Your money is your business, your responsibility, and your journey. Keep it private, keep it protected, and let the results speak quietly for themselves. Your good deeds, kindness, and act of generosity carry the most power when they are done quietly, without the need for attention or applause. When you help someone, support someone, or uplift someone, the intention behind the action matters far more than the recognition you receive for it. Sharing your good deeds too openly can dilute the sincerity of your action because it shifts the focus from genuine compassion to public validation. People who constantly talk about what they have done for others often lose the purity of their intention and replace it with a desire for praise. True goodness does not announce itself. True generosity does not broadcast its presence. The moment you start seeking approval for your kindness, you stop serving from the heart and start serving from the ego. Silence protects the authenticity of your character and allows your actions to remain sacred. Another reason to keep your good deeds private is because publicizing them can make the people you helped feel uncomfortable or exposed. Not everyone wants their struggles known, and not everyone wants to be seen as someone who needed help. When you share what you did for someone, even if your intention is harmless, you may unintentionally embarrass them or make them feel indebted to you. This creates tension instead of trust. Kindness should uplift others, not burden them. It should preserve their dignity, not diminish it. Genuine charity leaves the other person feeling respected, not revealed. Keeping your good deeds to yourself ensures that the person you help receives the benefit without the weight of becoming a story you tell. They deserve privacy, and your silence honors that there is also a spiritual and psychological strength that comes from doing good quietly. When you help without announcing it, you train your heart to find reward in the act itself, rather than in the reaction of others. This builds inner character, humility, and authenticity. You begin to see kindness not as something you perform for an audience, but as something you practice for your own growth. It becomes a part of who you are, woven into your identity. The world may never know what you have done, but you know, in that internal alignment creates a deeper sense of fulfillment than any praise ever could. Quiet goodness builds integrity. It shapes a person who does the right thing, even when no one is watching. It transforms kindness from an act into a lifestyle, from something occasional into something natural. And there is an important truth. The more you talk about your good deeds, the more people question your motives. Some will think you help to gain attention. Others will assume you expect something in return. Some may even feel pressured to praise you. But when you keep your kindness private, people begin to respect you deeply without ever knowing why. They feel your character in your presence rather than hearing it in your words. They sense your goodness without you ever needing to explain it. Quiet generosity creates a reputation built not on stories, but on energy. It builds respect without effort, admiration without announcements, and trust without promotion. True kindness is not loud. It is gentle, quiet, consistent, and sincere. Protected by keeping it private, and let the impact of your action live in the hearts of others rather than on the tongues of people.